Havade Familia! This is a special island episode of Cooking with Mr. Tolley. So, we're going to get a chance to look back at some of the research I did when I traveled to Guam. So, if you don't know where Guam is in kind of western Micronesia, not the furthest out, it's just next to Palau. But it is almost directly south of Japan and Okinawa. In fact, it was a flashpoint during World War II because of its proximity to Japan. Now, it is a part of a chain of islands called the Marianas Islands. Guam itself is what's known as a protectorate, it is known as a territory of the US. And then above that, you have the Northern Marianas, which are considered commonwealths, some of the only commonwealths in the world. It is about 400 miles from the Marianas Trench, which if you don't know what the Marianas Trench is, it is the currently known deepest point of the ocean. So I got to fly into Guam last summer, where I got to meet wonderful people, I got to eat delicious food, I got to hear amazing music, and there's a ton more that I could talk about that, but that's not what we're here for today. Part of my preparation in going to Guam was to learn a little bit about the culture. And so I did that through, honestly, one of the coolest books I have, which is called Chamorro Cuisine. So Chamorro is the culture of the Marianas. It is the indigenous people who live there and the language that they speak. And so we are going to be cooking one of the most popular dishes in Chamorro Cuisine, which is grilled chicken. So what makes Chamorro grilled chicken so specifically unique is the marinades that they use. They marinate their food for hours. And we're going to be using, from that book I showed you, a soy lemon marinade. So to make this, you are going to need 1 cup of soy sauce. Now, as always, I am using a gluten-free soy sauce known as tamari. You can use regular soy sauce if you would like to. Tamari is not actually more expensive. You will also need to have 1/4 cup lemon juice. As always, I highly recommend that you freshly squeeze this if you are able to. Along with that, 1/4 cup minced yellow onion, 1/4 cup minced green onions. I am using chives, not because I think they taste better, but because that's what I had in the house at the time. 2 tablespoons packed brown sugar, 2 tablespoons minced or grated fresh ginger, 6 cloves of garlic, smashed and roughly diced. Lastly, you'll need 2 pounds of chicken thighs, boneless but with skin on. Now, the recipe in this book actually makes 4 pounds of chicken. I had 2 pounds of chicken, so I'm making a 2-pound recipe. The chicken just needs to be boneless but skin on. You can always debone it yourself. It's not actually extremely hard to do. And you're just gonna kind of set that aside for a little bit, because next up we're going to make the marinade. One of the things I love about this dish is it's super easy to make. All you really have to do is take those ingredients that we just talked about and mix them together until the brown sugar dissolves. So I'm just gonna put everything into this bowl and then I'm gonna whisk. And there you have it. That is a soy lemon marinade all put together. By the way, the music I've been playing in the background is from Guam. While I was there, I was fortunate to meet Auntie Zena Ruiz, who is the one of the main teachers of cultural dance. This music is one that I bought there, from a CD that I bought there, and it is from Guma Tao Tao Tano, which Guma is house, Tao Tao Tano is people of the land, which is a term used in Chamorro culture. And so I just wanted to kind of clarify that. All right, there's only one thing left to do. You're gonna get a large sealable plastic bag. I like freezer safe because they tend to seal a little bit stronger. Now I got way too big of a bag here, but that's fine. I would rather have too big than too little. You're gonna place all of your chicken into this bag, and you're gonna dump all of your marinade into this bag. You're going to mix it up, get everything covered, and you're going to seal. Now, sealing here is important because you want to get that air out. But you want as much of that chicken submerged in as much of that marinade as possible. There are lots of ways to get air out of a bag. I'm using this pinch method where I'm basically forcing the sauce up. You can see it kind of sealed the bag shut. Best way to do it, if you have it, is to use a food sealer. All right, and this just goes into the fridge for at least 3 hours or as long as you need it to. All right, and that's most of what we got to do. The next step with the chicken is to grill it, which we will do in the evening for dinner. While that's going on, let's make some sides, because there are always sides with food like this. So we are going to make a condiment known as finadeni. Finadeni is my favorite condiment at this point. It's just soy sauce and chilies and tomatoes and onion. It's delicious. It's also extremely beautiful. In fact, that's finadeni on the cover of this thing. And then last but not least, we'll make a vegetable of some kind. Probably not film this because we'll probably just do salad or a cucumber and some mango. All right, so while the marinade is cooking, let's work on some sides. I'm gonna do kind of rice and vegetables with this, but a side that I have to have with every time I have a chamorro meal is finadeni. So let's learn how to make finadeni. All right, so to make finadeni, it's actually pretty easy. It is a soy-based sauce, so you're gonna need to start with 2 cups of soy sauce. Once again, I'm using tamari because it's gluten-free. To that, you will add 1 cup cherry tomatoes quartered. I halved them because I happen to like the look of halved better. 1/4 cup of white onion, minced. 1/4 cup red onion, minced. 1/4 cup green onion, minced. This time I used real green onions instead of chives because I had them by the time I got around to this part. To all of that, you're gonna add 1/4 cup freshly squeezed lemon or lime juice. And finally, spicy peppers. Now I am using a Thai bird chili pepper. And the advice I got on this is actually really, really good advice, which is instead of making all of it with chili peppers, you're going to do half of it. So I'm gonna make half of this not spicy at all and half of this spicy because I have people in my family who don't like to eat a lot of spicy. So I am going to use, instead of 6, I'm going to use 3. Now, the people from Guam will give me guff about the fact that I'm using Thai bird chilies because I should be using Guam buni peppers. Now, in my defense, I can't get Guam buni peppers very easily, so I will be using Thai bird. They are a good option, but they do not taste the same, I will admit to all my friends in Guam. At this point, you literally just mix it together. Show you a picture of it later. Okay, so it's gonna get a little loud because we had to move outside for this next part. So we are going to be grilling this, which means we're gonna be using a barbecue. Now, the barbecue rig that I use, get this reshot angle, is a charcoal style barbecue. You can see it down here. I have it set for an offset smoker. So I will be putting charcoal into this bin right here and then nothing over here. You can fill the whole thing up if you want to. I'm not making enough chicken to need to do that, to be frankly honest. Plus, I'm going to smoke something in this later. I'm going to be using a charcoal chimney. You can see inside I got this little cube right here. I'm going to put more charcoal on top of this. This is a fire lighter. I'm going to light that fire into here and get that going. It'll take about 15 minutes to get hot, and then we'll kind of roll from there. All right, so like I said before, I like to use this coal system here. I will say if you are a kid wanting to make this dish, please get your parents' help with this. It is live fire. So my coals have been going for a while. They're nice and hot at this point. I'm going to flip over my chute and get them out and into there. I've opened up all the vents at this point because I want this to get pretty screaming hot. Now I actually like to use smoking wood when I do anything. This is peach wood. So I'm going to kind of set that down into the coals. You'll actually see that'll start smoking pretty quick as that catches on fire. There it goes. I'm just going to set in my grates, close the lid, and let that get pretty darn hot. All right, now that my grill is nice and hot, I'm going to cook up these chicken. So, grilling chicken is kind of an art form. I have 2 areas. I have a hot area and a cold area. I'm going to try and keep away from flare-ups too much, like where you see right there. But I want to get that sound. Every time I put food onto a cooking surface, I want to get that sound right there. That is an indication that it is cooking right away. So I'm going to utilize the hot side to get it started. And then what I'll do is once it's kind of cooking well, I will switch over to that cold side to kind of let it finish cooking in kind of an oven style setting. I'll be flipping it over to the skin once it's cooked off a little bit to get a nice crispy skin, which is the only reason you leave the skin on these things. So I'm gonna close that down. I'll come back to you once it's all cooked up. All right, so that was our dinner for tonight. So that is chamorro grilled chicken and finadeni. We did it with rice and cucumbers, so I just wanted to show you the plate that we made so you can see what it looks like. There it is. Here's that finadeni I was talking about. We went with the spicy version, so I got some chilies in there. There's the smoked chicken. You see that color that you get on the chicken itself right there, that kind of dark reddish color. And then that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy dinner, delicious in the end. So have fun making it. Let me know how it goes.